Good afternoon, everybody. Chairperson, Mr. Khare, expert, Mr. Vaklu, Dr. Pascal, and August gathering over here. See, I am heading an organization basically which was well known in the field of education of NIELIT, which is basically O level, A level, B level. Previously, it used to be known as DOE ACC. It is an organization under the administrative control of Department of Electronics and Information Technology. Now recently, when I have taken over the charge almost 8 months back, we got the name changed to transform to National Institute of Electronics and Information Technology. And I could find that after mushrooming of the private engineering colleges, we were finding difficult to get students to our courses. Because DOCC, so-called now NIELIT, is basically well known for accreditation of institutes for running multiple IT courses. And we have got almost 800 institutes which are accredited with us. But then subsequently, since I am basically from the industry where I have been executing e-governance project and IT projects, I could know that when we were used to interview candidates, and especially in the field of e-governance, it was very difficult to find anyone. Because what is happening is, if you see the government basic mission and vision is that we have to ensure delivery of the services at the doorstep of the citizens using the ICT. In a transparent method, in an economic method. Now, when we are talking about e-governance, we find the E is very small letter, the governance G is a big capital letter, which itself is indicative that the technology component is very less. It is almost 10 to 15%, and the major component is the governance component, which means a person who knows the governance, and then he employs or he uses the tool and ICT for implementation of the decision making or for taking the decisions. So with this view, basically I thought why not to diversify in the field of e-governance capacity building also. And I must agree over here on the platform that I am thankful to the Ministry of Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances that they could had a discussion with me and finally gave us the proposal that let's go with the capacity building for all central government employees in the field of e-governance. Now once I am saying again e-governance, the basic purpose is not to teach the governance because that is well known to them. They know better than me. They know better than the faculties. What is more important is to change the mindset. Why I am saying this? All this is basically we are thinking of capacity building either in formal sector, non-formal sector. Let me tell you, the demand is very high. Today it is a demand of the time that we need to plan it out to change the mindset. That's the most important. Let's say a very simple case. Change management. As on date, today also in government, we follow the old procedures set by the Britishers. Even if you will find in number of the manuals, you will find you are entitled to travel by the first class. Now, there is no manufacturing of first class for last 10-15 years. But still it is being written. And it is the accountant to decide whether he pass your bill once you travel by second AC or first AC. He will say, no, sir, rule says it is first class, you have traveled by second class, so I cannot do that. So what I am saying is this, basically, we have to make the change management. Similarly, process engineering. Now, these are the sectors where there is a heavy demand, there is a huge potential where we can diversify in the capacity building, which can be again a formal sector, which can be a non-formal sector. Because number of IITs, even IIMs, they have started 1 year diploma, 1.5 year diploma in e-governance management because that's the challenge which is coming up before the government that planning a project, implementing a project is a different thing. But owning a project is the toughest job. It is very simple to say you implement this thing. But once those who have done project on the field, they know you have to face a lot of challenges. Similarly, technology management. Now, technology adaptation is one thing, but to manage and to maintain that is another skill set which is required. Like for example, very simple, if you have to buy a hardware, you can buy hardware by placing an order. But if you have to maintain the network within the organization or you have to maintain a hardware within the organization, you have to either call for an AMC agency or you have to train your engineers. And still once you train your engineers, that in-house trained engineer will not be in a position to give you a better service than the service which a AMC provider can give because he can manage spares, he can have a better technology approach. So there are a number of sectors which are coming up. Now since the topic says digital literacy, and that is the reason when I joined over there within a span of 2-3 months, I took the decision, then I have submitted the proposal to my management board chaired by the Honorable Minister Kapil Sibal Saab, and where we said that the tagline for NIELIT shall be digital literacy for all. Because this is the time, whether you are literate or not literate, as in the morning, Honorable Minister also said, that this is a time where we'll say whether you know digital literacy, or whether you are aware how to open a mail, do you know how to send a fax. That's the time which is coming up. You may not know how to write your name, you may not know how to sign, but if you know how to take a thumb impression, you can do well. Because things are changing. Even now if you see, as Mr. Baklu says, that time has changed where we have to plan out basically on online systems. And that's the reason I also took initiative in my organization. I said we'll do only registration for online. We may get a drop in the number of students. That is possible. Because once you go for online, those who are sitting at the remote area may not be in a position to apply. For that, what we have done, we have used the Government of India project, that is CSC, Common Service Center network, where we have said that all CSCs will be allowed to go for the online submission of the forms. Similarly, now what is happening is, until unless we basically go for online system of examination or for the online system of registration, online system for form filling, I think looking to the population of the country, it will be very difficult to reach to the last mileage of the village or the country for the education purpose. And that's the way, if you see the colleges which are going for competitive exams through online system, they are in a better position to go for attracting more students rather than going for the offline exam. See, we have to change the mindset. Even if you talk to a 12th class student and even if you talk to the parents of that, still they have got a question in their mind that offline questions are simple than online papers. Sometimes they have a doubt, online questions are more simple than offline system. And that's the way we have to make a change in the concept, mindset of the population and the public. Now similarly what is happening is e-content, as Mr. Waklu said, this is a time where we have to plan out basically the e-content has to be developed. Why I am saying is this, basically if you see the way things are changing, the way mobile has got a penetration, if you see today's paper I was going through, almost 70 crore mobiles are existing in country. I think this is a figure on the paper, but if I remember correctly, we have been referring around 90 crore mobiles are being used. Now see the value and the volume. Now what is happening, if you have got a mobile system, why not to have a contents on the mobile? Because then you can have a penetration to a village older also. I remember very well, as the minister was saying in the morning, that a person knows how to make a call to his son, he doesn't know to dial a number. What he has done, he has registered the numbers, son, daughter, wife, police wala, falana, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He knows if I press 1, I will call to my elder son. If I press 2, I will call to my wife. If I press 3, I will call to my daughter. If I press 4, I will call to my police wala. So what I am saying is, see the concepts are changing. So what we have to plan, that we have to plan now basically e-contents on mobiles. Because that's the way where we can approach to the best component, where we can approach to the last mileage. Now what is happening is, every state government in a competition is basically declaring we'll give laptops, but where is the basically content on that? That is the second thought. Because those laptops, iPad which you are planning, they are having a different operating system. Even Android, I don't think, more applications are available in the country which are basically meeting to our requirement of education system. So there is a potential where we can diversify in a system where we can develop e-content based on iPads, based on mobiles. Now fourth is basically, since the NCAN connectivity has been extended to all educational hubs, even NIELIT also we have made approach, and Department of IT has agreed for the same. We are trying to see that we have to go for a virtual classroom system because we have got a shortage of quality teachers. And once we are saying we have to go for a quality education, it is most important that the seat must be very good. That means the teacher who is giving the education to us has to be well learned. And definitely the system which we are going through, the education system, we are more worried in getting the marks rather than going for a personal development, skill development. I remember very well, I am associated with number of recruitment agencies, number of panels. Whenever we go for an interview, he can answer very good questions which are basically theory based, which are basically book based. Once you go into a practical problem, it is very difficult to find a good guy who can answer the field problem, who can address to the field problem. So now what is required is, this is the NCAN connectivity, or this is the new technology which can provide a tool where we can basically go for a skill development of the students or the new generation which is coming up, which is more based on industry. And that's the reason even the government has started making a mindset. Even Government of India has given a mandate to us that we must start courses in tie-up with industry. Because it is the industry. See, I am not going for education just to get a degree. My final aim is that I must get a good salary, I must get a good employment, I must get married to a good family. So that's the way, that's the society lives. So for that, basically, what is more important is to enhance the employability. And for enhancing the employability, it is very important that we have to go for skill development of the students. I remember in 2002, when I was there in Rajasthan as a managing director of a corporation, we started one course in association with Malviya National Institute of Technology, which is called now MNIT Jaipur. And I took a deputation to that institute as a challenge, and I basically invited applications from all engineering students, irrespective of any branch, saying that anybody who is interested to participate in the course, he has to pay a fees of 1 lakh rupees and has to go through a course of 1 year. And basically there will be 4 sessions. One will be skill development, one will be only one skill development on any one platform, and 6 months will be practical training. I remember I had to listen a lot of music from my all top bureaucracy, from everyone saying nobody will come for 1 lakh rupees. But finally, when I gave an ad, of course I have to involve IITs also in making a system. Once I basically have gone for that, we got almost 600 applications for 40 seats. We conducted the test, we got admissions, and finally, first 3 months only we have gone for a skill development. How to face an interview, body language, how to address someone. What happens once you come out from the college, you don't know whether to say sir or madam, even sometimes you say bhaiya, bhabhi, chachi, mama. See, this is all basically because what is happening, you are never being groomed. See, ragging takes place, but that's a different diversion which has taken place now. But that was the basic purpose when in the college time, I remember the ragging used to be there just to make you feel how to address someone. Now that has changed because the concept has got changed. Now that's the only way we can do skill development within the fresh guys who are coming out from the college. Now once they go through the skill development, how to address, how to dress up yourself. I remember when in 1987 I have gone for an interview in America. I remember I have gone for an interview with an American company and I dressed up with a colored t-shirt and some tie, and when I have gone for an interview I was told you are not selected. Then I asked to the person who has placed me for the placement, he has not asked me any technical question, how he can reject me. He said it is purely on your dress. Then he told me you have to put on light shirt and dark color blouse. What I am saying is these are the things which basically we have to plug in into our youth who are coming up in case we have to go for a placement in a good company and a working business. Now secondly is, what is happening is we are teaching in the school, colleges, all multiple subjects, and he becomes jack of all, master of none. That's the biggest problem which we are finding. I do agree, he must know what is social science, he must know mathematics, he must know engineering, he must know civil also. But one platform he is supposed to know. Because the last question any interviewer asks is always is that, tell me your expert subject. And the moment you ask expert subject, you find he is not able to say, he says sometimes networking, sometimes he says C, sometimes he says Windows. Even if you go through, I think all of you, if you get the biodata, you will find in the biodata he will write expert in Windows, expert in Word, expert in Excel, expert in Lotus, expert in presentation. These are not the expertise. These are the tools basically which we are using. So I think if we are planning for an education system, and especially we are saying digital literacy for all, we have to somewhere plan out some course curriculum, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, 1 year, 6 months, 3 months, depending upon the profile of the candidate, depending upon the curriculum which is going through, but we have to go for a skill development. And that's the reason half of us, maybe more than half of us, plan to get our kid admitted to a private engineering college, private schools or public school. One of the reasons is that we do understand, at least they will try to teach them some etiquettes, something about global this thing. So I think this is the time where definitely we have to use the technology to ensure that we are able to reach to the last mileage, and definitely we have to plug in some changes in our course curriculum, we have to make some changes in our education system also. Like for example, the government of India has come out with a new scheme of NVEQ, National Vocational Educational Quality Framework. One of the reasons for that framework is basically the credit keeps on adding. For example, in BITS planning, I remember there is a system that if I do something, I can change my branch from second year to third year, from electronics to computer science. If I have got some credit this month, that credit will get forwarded to that. Because now, basically the requirement of the youth is the job. And for that, basically, we have to allow him to diversify, because see what happens, if I remember correctly, I was very keen to go for an arts, but I was taught since beginning, from the birth, From when I started understanding you have to become an engineer, you have to become an engineer. So you started diversifying for mathematics or something like that. So now things are changing, time is changing. Our kids, our youth, they are basically more advanced than us. I remember my son who is in now engineering college, he knows better than me how to operate YouTube, and he knows better than me how to operate Facebook. Because see what is happening, they are very creative, they have got ample time to do, we are more busy in business and all these things. So we have to work out a system in the education system where we have to use the technology. With these words,